Okay, everyone. Hello, good evening. For those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Ricky Alegria. I am the director of bands here at Mountain View High. And first off, I just want to say congratulations on finishing the 21-22 school year. It's had its challenges, no doubt, but it's just so great to have everyone back in person, have some sense of normalcy, and we're keeping our fingers firmly crossed that next year will be even better. So this informational meeting is intended to give an overview for the season ahead. For those of you that are new to the marching band or new to Mountain View, first off, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. And for those returning members and families, there will be some changes moving forward as we try to achieve that next level of the marching arts. So wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page here. We understand some of the changes that are coming next school year. And again, if you have any questions or concerns with any of the information that's covered today, please do not hesitate to reach out. I'll be trying my best to monitor the chat, but if for whatever reason I don't get to your questions, feel free to email me. I will be checking my email regularly throughout the summer. Responses might be a little delayed, but I'll definitely try my best to get all the questions that you have answered before band camp. And for those of you just joining us, hello and welcome. And we are glad that you're here. Okay, so again, my name is Ricky Alegria. I am the director of bands here at MVHS. We are bringing back our three main caption heads that were with us last year. Thomas Peters will be running our visual and our drill design. Armin Garfelpour is our percussion caption head, and Bruce Polson is our color guard caption head. They will also have their own little mini staff as well to help out with their respective captions and to help instruction and guide us through the season. Now, for those of you that are new, you might ask yourself, well, why marching bands? And for those of you that are returning, hopefully you fully understand. Marching band's an art form. It's a science, it's a sport, and most importantly, it is a family. In marching band, I like to tell my students that every person is important. Every person contributes. Unlike sports that are on and off campus, there are no cuts. No one is benched. As long as you show up, you perform. That is a performance opportunity that is pretty unique to what we do here. In addition to it being a very taxing physical activity, it is an art form. Not only do we perform our music, we also perform with our body, our choreography, and again, every single person is important. So starting off with band camp. Band camp is early this summer. I do apologize for that. In fact, I think we were all a little bit shocked when we saw the academic calendar release for the 22-23 school year. Considering we're starting so early, we've had to push band camp earlier in the summer. Again, I do understand that this kind of impedes on some prime vacation time, especially a lot of families like to try to get away before the start of school year. But again, we ask that you try your best to have your student at every day of band camp possible. It is really the most important part of the season because it is the only time that the instructional staff and I are able to get your student to focus solely on marching band. Obviously, when the school year starts, there's other homework, clubs, academics. Band camp is the time where we can start at 8 a.m., finish at 5 p.m., and concentrate solely on marching and solely on playing. And what's nice about the structure of this year's band camp, even though it is a little bit earlier, last year we ran into some issues with freshman orientation and materials pickups for upperclassmen. This year we are avoiding that entirely. So you don't have to balance between whether or not you're going to be at camp with us or you're going to be going through your freshman orientation. Students are able to participate fully in both. Now, what should you bring to band camp? Obviously, your instrument. Okay, we will provide the music. We will provide all paper materials, so you don't have to worry about that. Athletic shoes are very, very, very important. And when I say athletic shoes, I know that, for some, it's open for interpretation. I would recommend something that you would feel comfortable running a mile in. In fact, a lot of our students log way more than a mile in a 4-hour rehearsal period, and these rehearsals are twice as long. So that's something that good athletic shoes are very, very important. In addition to that, athletic clothing, something that is breathable, something that you will be prepared to sweat in, you will be perspiring. Again, I would avoid jeans. I would avoid anything that is, too heavy. Just, a nice cotton t-shirt, athletic shorts is definitely a way to go. Sunscreen is very, very important. We will be spending most of our rehearsal day outside, whether it's marching or playing. So it's important to stay protected. We wouldn't want anyone to start off the school year with a bad sunburn. Sunglasses and hat are also very important. Sunglasses not only will help protect your eyes, but when you squint, you're actually affecting your embouchure too. So it will affect your playing. And you want a very large water bottle. We recommend a gallon. They have like half gallons as well. Again, we will be outside for an extended period of time. Our staff is really good about giving our students frequent water breaks to make sure that we stay hydrated. And, water isn't very accessible out on the football field. So having a large container of water will definitely help last the entire morning or afternoon block of rehearsal. Okay, I see that there's a couple questions in the chat. Okay, great. Thank you for answering that, Laura. So speaking of band camp, the location will be at MVHS for the entirety of the camp. Unfortunately, Drones Gulch was all booked up when we received our academic schedule for the coming school year. Another important piece to remember, July 25th to the 29th is Monday through Friday, and then the following August 1st and 2nd is Monday, Tuesday. So the students will have Saturday, Sunday off. So again, if they need to take care of any last minute school preparation stuff, they'll have that weekend to do so as well. Okay, so up to our first major change regarding next school year. So our rehearsal schedule remains consistent: Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Mondays, we are 4 to 6:30. Thursdays, we are 5 to 8 p.m. And then Saturdays is actually going to be a longer rehearsal block. We are going from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. One of the feedback that we've gotten from our students at the end of the year survey from last year was that they felt we needed more rehearsal time. In fact, a lot of the sections after we would break on Saturdays would end up sticking around campus to do their sectional time anyway. So the staff and I just decided, let's just go ahead and make it a longer day so we can have more group instructional time and get more done. Okay. We will be having a make rehearsal on September 8th, which is a Tuesday. That is the Tuesday following Labor Day weekend. And we will actually not be rehearsing that Saturday of Labor Day weekend as well. So if you want to take a small getaway that weekend, that's completely okay. And this is our performance schedule. So we are adding some dates, which are really exciting, and we are moving our community thank you towards the end of the season. And I'll explain the reasoning why in a second. Our first performance date is October 1st. That is the Fremont Union High School District Exposition. I'm a former teacher at FUHSD, and the 5 schools in that district, which are Homestead, Fremont, Monte Vista, Lynbrook, and Cupertino, every year they host a exhibition show within the district. And every year they like to invite a guest band. Well, I got Mountain View in as the guest band for the FUHSD Expo. And from my time at Monte Vista, this was actually my favorite performance of the school year, because in the afternoon, there is a show just for the students, and the students perform their show in front of each other. And then there's a dinner break, which all the students get a chance to mingle and to get to know each other. And then there is an evening performance under the lights in full uniform for the parents. So not only is it a great opportunity for you to see and to hear other groups in the area, it's a great opportunity for our students to also see what other schools are doing and to also get a chance to meet their peers from down the street. Then after that, we get into our competition schedule, starting with Dublin on the 8th, Gilroy on the 15th, and our tentative middle school tour is set for October 28th. Now we're crossing our fingers that Mountain View Wiseman are allowing visitors on campus again. That was the reason why we had to cancel last year. But right now we're planning for the 28th for our middle school tour. October 29th is at Independence, which Independence is typically our last competition of the school year. But since this is so early, we've decided to add more dates just to help fill out the calendar. November 5th is our new date for Community Thank You. I know that Community Thank You was historically done in the beginning of the season. And I've decided to move it to November just so we can get the whole show on the field. Historically for Community Thank You, we would only do maybe 1 or 2 movements, whatever was ready at that time and place. And we wanted to present to our community the entire package, the entire show. And one of my biggest motivations for wanting to do that is we've got some of the best parent volunteers on the planet helping at every single competition. And a lot of those parents do not get a chance to see the full show because they're too busy helping with meals, helping with uniforms, etc. So I wanted to give those parents an opportunity to see the whole thing. So that's one of the reasons why we decided to move it. In addition to that, we will be hosting some guest bands at Community Thank You. Last year, we only had Los Altos, again, due to the whole COVID situation. But I have confirmed St. Francis will be joining us and Fremont High School will be joining us for Community Thank You this year. So we're really excited. And obviously, invitation has been extended to Los Altos as well, since they're our sister school. And I believe we're still waiting on word from possibly Santa Clara High as well. November 12th is the Logan WBA Regional. WBA is our Western Bands Association competitive circuit. It's been a number of years since we've been back at Logan for regionals. So we're happy to go back there. And then finally, our performance schedule ends with our Los Altos Festival of Lights Parade. Now, 2 dates I want to bring to your attention: October 15th and November 12th. Those are both long weekends. October 15th is actually the end of our first quarter grading period. And something new that the district instituted was having the Thursday and Friday off of that week. Well, that also, again, falls under one of our competition weekends. So we are very, very humbly asking that families do not go away for that long weekend. I know it might be tempting to maybe visit some colleges or maybe go down to Disneyland before it gets too cold. Our competition schedule is very important because we only have so many opportunities to compete. So again, we're asking that families stay local for that weekend. And then additionally, November 12th is also Veterans Day weekend. So again, that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday long weekend. So again, we are still planning on rehearsing that Thursday. We're still planning on going to our competitions that Saturday. So I'm hoping that with this much previous notice, we hope that you can find other arrangements and keep those weekends clear. Cynthia had asked in the chat, is there a homecoming parade? Yes, the answer is yes. I don't know when homecoming is, but as soon as I find out, we'll add it to the calendar. That typically happens during the school day, so having to incorporating that isn't too difficult. All right. Now, we talked about a rehearsal schedule. We talked about a performance schedule. One thing I would like to address is absences and the expectations surrounding those absences. I really wish I could say that attendance was stellar last marching band season, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. There was many rehearsals, in fact, the majority of the rehearsals where we did not have 100% attendance. And when we run into issues like that, it's really difficult for the staff and I to A, plan an effective rehearsal, and B, for the ensemble to progress as a group. For example, like this is what our drill would look like. In fact, this was the closing set of Blue Horizons last year. And this is with 100% attendance, everyone on the field. And unfortunately, sometimes this is what we would run into during rehearsal. There would be people missing, either for illnesses or some other commitment. And it was really difficult for the staff and I to be able to get the group performance ready when missing this many people. In addition, imagine if you were a judge watching our marching band at a competition and you saw these holes. Unfortunately, that can count against us. That can result in negative scores because of the people missing. So one thing that I'm going to be focusing on moving forward is trying to get as close to 100% attendance as possible for this coming season. Now, I do understand that emergencies happen, illnesses happen, especially the last, 4 to 6 weeks, there was a COVID outbreak. I don't say outbreak, that's probably a bad word to say, but a lot of students were sick with COVID. So in those cases, of course, those absences will be excused. But what the staff and I are asking is that all rehearsals and competitions are prioritized in your calendars. It's the only way for us to get to that next level that we know we can get to, and that we know our students want to get to, and that's having as much of a close to perfect attendance as possible. So when it comes to needing to miss, an excused absence would include serious illness, family emergencies, religious holidays. And if that were to come up, please email me immediately if you know your student cannot make rehearsal, or even worse, if your student can't make a competition. Some unexcused absences would include birthdays, vacation, having an abundance of homework, basically any event that could otherwise be planned around. One great thing about marching band is that it teaches our students time management and accountability. So, if they need help with that aspect, they can come to me, they can come to any of our staff members, they can go to the student leadership group. They are already excellent at time management and clearing calendar conflicts way ahead of time. So, if your student ever needs help in any of those aspects, please don't hesitate to reach out. And like I said before, every rehearsal, every performance is important. And one thing that is crucial is the Thursday rehearsal before a competition. That being because if the staff and I, if we're going to make any last minute changes, it is at that Thursday rehearsal. So let's say, for example, something just isn't looking quite right on the field, or we need to change something to really make that set spectacular. We might reposition a guard member, or we might reposition a section. And if your student isn't there to receive that information, honestly, it's a safety hazard, right? We have our guard members twirling flags and tossing rifles and even just basic marching maneuvers. You don't want to get in the way of a marching tuba, right? So, so that's why those Thursday rehearsals are so crucial. In fact, something that we are going to institute moving forward is that if a student misses a Thursday rehearsal before a competition, that may result in possibly not performing at said competition. It really kind of depends on what we cover that day. And again, if there's a large change that we are going to do, then again, it turns into a safety issue. Okay. And again, if you have any questions or concerns about that policy, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than willing to talk through that reasoning and try to come up with something that works for everyone. Next, I'd like to move on to our volunteer opportunities. I cannot put this lightly that everything that the Spartan Marching Band does is only possible through our wonderful booster organization and our team of parent volunteers. We've got a great parent volunteer coordinator, Robin Shalinsky. She served in that role last year, and essentially whenever we take the band on the road, whenever we have a competition, it's like a very it's like a staff within itself. There's parents coordinating with uniforms, making sure that every student has every piece of uniform that they need. We have parents that help move props, help with meals. If you've never gotten a chance to see our parent volunteers work in their element, it really is a sight to behold. So if you are available, Robin will be reaching out with some volunteer opportunities. And it doesn't matter how little or how much, any minute that you can provide and help us with will go a long way. In fact, I like to tell my band parents that through the marching band, this is the way that you can have the most positive effect on your student and other students' overall experience. Like just being present and being supportive is one thing, but also helping get our kids fed, help get our kids clothed is something I honestly can say I cannot do on my own. So having your help is invaluable. Speaking of our booster organization, our IMPA board members, we are returning and gaining some really outstanding individuals that help our booster organization run, led by Lara Vistano. She's our returning president, Gina Strada stepping in as vice president, Allison Devaney, Richard Lowe, me and Jim Whitfield, and Michelle Parker. So if you have any questions as far as how you can help support the band or the music program at large, because IMPA does also support the concert bands, the orchestras, and exploring music. Again, any involvement is net positive. So these are the people that you're most likely going to be hearing from as we get closer to band camp and into the school year. We do hold our meetings every first Tuesday of the month. So even just logging in, or hopefully we can maybe even have in-person meetings next year, even just showing up to meetings just to hear the goings on of the music program, what our needs are, what you can do to help support will go a long way. This is our 2022 student leadership team. This year, we introduced a new element to the leadership selection. Not only did students have to answer some short answer essay questions about what they viewed marching band as and what their goals and aspirations for the band was, they actually had to sit down with a 30-minute interview with me. And I have to say that every student that submitted an application and that went through the interview process did a fantastic job. And trying to narrow down the student leadership team is always a task I dread every year, because if there was room for everyone that wanted to be a leader, if there was room for everyone, then I would take everyone. But alas, we tried to put together a team that was best situationally for the ensemble that we're anticipating ahead, and also a team that could work well together. So this is what we settled on. Again, it wasn't an easy decision. In fact, it was very difficult. So again, I just want to say hats off to every student that participated in the process. Congratulations to those who made it, and to those who didn't. My message to you is that even though you may not have the title, you can still lead. And you are a very important, valued member of the marching band. And I know that you'll continue to be so, regardless if you have a title or not. And that leads me to our show announcement. So I actually just finished putting this together a little bit before I started the meeting. I didn't actually have time to actually export it from iMovie, so we're just gonna have to watch it through there. I think you guys are gonna like it.
And I know someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home.
And that is our a little taste of our 2022 fall marching band production, Home. It is arranged by Jeff Chambers, again featuring music from Dionne Warwick, Lauren Banff, and it ends with some Dear Evan Hansen. So we can't wait to get started with that with the students. There's some small edits and some things that we're going to need to reshuffle to make the show work for our ensemble. So as soon as we have the music ready, that will be distributed to our student leadership team. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, July can't come soon enough. Well, at least for marching band. So that is all I had for this evening. If anyone has any last minute questions, if they want to type it in the chat, I'll be happy to address those now. Otherwise, again, we will be posting the recording of the meeting along with the slide deck to mbspartanmusic.net. And if you have any individual questions or anything pressing, again, feel free to email me. Again, I will be checking my email regularly during the summer. Hopefully my response time won't be too delayed, but yeah, I will be checking it. Okay. And yeah, so someone actually posted in the chat about the E-list. I actually was made aware recently that the E-list will be going away soon, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to get a little bit more creative as far as how we're gonna utilize mass communication to our community. But yeah, we will definitely solve that before next school year. Okay. All right. Well, again, as soon as we have the final edits of the music, we will be distributing that. Melissa, was that a question that I see?
Yeah. So what were you just saying is that the communication link is not going to be.
So yeah, so if you are subscribed to our e-lists, I've been made aware recently that the e-lists through MVLA is no longer going to be working next school year. So we're gonna have to we're gonna have to find a new solution as far as how we're going to distribute mass communication. It's what I'm not worried about is reaching out to the current students, because I can always do that through Aries, but it's reaching out to our alumni, the families of alumni, because I know there's a lot of people that have had students graduate, years ago, but still love to come to community thank you, still love to come to the competitions and stuff like that. So, we're going to need to find a solution to make sure that we can still reach out to them as well.
Okay.
All right. Well, if no one has any other questions, we can go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Again, thank you for taking the time to be with us this evening. And if you have any questions between now and July 25th, please let me know. All right, everyone. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. There was something about some leadership. I'm sure Max will find out about it. Leadership 2 days during this month.
Yeah. I just emailed the leadership team earlier this afternoon. So all of the details and stuff were in that email.
Thank you.
All right, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Enjoy your summer, and we'll see you soon.